right, so we starting the podcast off. This is the first episode. Everybody make some noise, please. Yeah, we don't got no... Already. All right, so yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to start it off by giving a shout out to two people who we lost in York. I know I hate to bring it on a somber note, but I want to give a rest in peace to Ryan Cusack. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate. I don't know what happened, but that dude was real cool. He always reached out to me, and I knew his sister, and back in the days when I used to work with Team Bad and all that stuff. So, you know, rest in peace to Ryan. You know what I'm saying? That shit came out of nowhere. Death isn't always, obviously, it's not planned, but, you know, rest in peace to him. And also, we lost a legend in Vonnie Grimes. Let's make some noise. Can we make some noise for Vonnie Grimes? Let's make some noise for Vonnie Grimes, man. Yeah, man. But I wanted to be sad. I wanted to shed a tear for Vonnie because he was a cool guy. And when I moved out here from Brooklyn, when I first got here, you know what I'm saying? I used to help kids make music in the after school program with my cousin, and he used to always be there. And he used to just be there, just doing whatever, helping out. And he always used to drop gems. One thing about Vonnie, he always used to drop gems. And I feel like when I look back at his life, you know, people like Vonnie, and you know, we got Miss Claiborne, like she runs the streets. She's still running. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she wasn't running for clout, because if she was running for clout, she would have stopped running after she had all her success and fame and she was popping. You know what I'm saying? When she was on fire and everybody, she was the hot button topic. She would have stopped running after that, but she still runs. The love. You know what I'm saying? So I always say that, and I hate to bring it to this, you know, but I have to, because I feel like we need to use those types of people, especially people like Vonnie and people like Miss Claiborne, and we need to use them as people that we can use for their energy. They're here to give us that energy so we can use it the right way. And can you imagine what a city like York would be if everybody had the same mind frame Mr. Grimes had? How much farther we'd be, and we're showing that now. Like right here, we all together. You know what I'm saying? And we're all feeding off each other's energy, and we're all excited about this podcast. I think it's a good outlet, and I think a guy like Mr. Grimes was the perfect example of, you know, all in one person of how we all needed to be. You know what I'm saying? So what a hell of a life he lived. I'm not sad. I'm happy, because if we could live, if I could just take a year of his life, you know what I'm saying, and take some of that energy, fam, I think I would take over the world. You know what I'm saying? But he went and he took those punches so we can go on ahead and run through the finish line. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So let's, you know, I just wanted to give a moment to acknowledge Mr. Grimes, man, because he really was a true legend, and he was definitely a dope person to be around. He was always positive. The dude was very genuine, and like I said, you know,
he could talk.
He could talk. He'd tell you some stories.
He could talk.
He could talk. But he was a great guy. You know what I mean? And I remember, and this is, I'm gonna leave it on this. Dude was strong.
Yeah, he was.
And I'm gonna tell you how strong he was. Back in 2011, when I was teaching them kids, he just died. He was still old. He was old back then in 2011. He was still real old. But I remember him telling me, yeah, man, you know, I was like, damn, man, how old are you? He told me he was like in his 80s or something. And he was like, yeah, but I'm still solid. He was like, he took this stance, right? This little sambo stance. He hit his stomach. And he was like, feel that. And I tapped it, right? I gave him a little Van Damme tap, pow. And I was like, yo, the joint was solid. Solid as a rock. And then look, the dude bust down and gave me 5 push-ups like it was nothing. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I know some 40-year-olds that look like a bag of shit. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? This dude was times 2 that and he was doing push-ups. That
was his thing. Yeah, that was
his
thing.
So what I'm saying is, like we got to live life like that. We all gonna die one day, and it's not about the fact that we all gonna die one day. We can't live like shit because we're just gonna die one day. It's about preserving your quality of life. So while you're on this earth, try to live the best quality of life you can live, and that was what he exuded.
So you send out a challenge to everybody right now to live life.
I'm just saying. I
look like a bag of snot.
That's why. Hey, talk your shit, baby. All I'm saying is, we got to use people like him and her for their energy.
Agree.
Right.
They're giving us a template. You know what I'm saying? But they were starting off with way less than what we had. We have a lot more than what they had. We have a lot of ways to get our voices heard like this. Once this is over, this is in the world. It's forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stah Shabazz, my man Daquan, when they make records, it's forever. You know what I'm saying? We have the opportunity now to make shit and put it out to the world forever. Can you imagine if they had what we have now? Right. When they were starting out saying that I want to change the fucking world? that shit is strong. That shit is powerful. I think we need to. I'm just saying, like, you look at them and you look at Miss Claiborne. She got the building on George Street, you know. And we look at Mr. Vonnie Grounds. He got the gym named after him. I personally think we need to push for College Ave to be named after him.
You know, they was trying to switch the name to like Vonnie Grimes Community Center.
Yeah, I think that's whack.
Is it Memorial? But they're going to change it to like
Memorial Community Center.
Empowerment. They're looking at making it an empowerment.
Yeah, cool. Wait, hold on.
They're not taking this.
Talk your shit.
Are they changing the building?
No.
All right, so the building's not going to look like Planet Fitness.
No.
Or like LA Fitness.
They just refurbished the outside.
The question is are they going to open the building to the community and the kids, not whether they're going to change it?
Yes.
Agreed.
Well, I mean, get some more.
That's
just
the goal.
because they hold this name don't mean nothing. Is it going to be used to actually empower the community? Are the kids are going to be...
That's the word in community.
It's starting to get there. For instance, basketball. For years,
there's so many questions with that.
Hold on, I got you. I'm answering it. I got you. For years,
you're
the
right.
open gym for basketball was adults and everything else like that. As of now, the open gym is going to under 17 only. So the adults can't come in for the open gym. It's only going to be for the kids.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
So they're working on changing things at the Vonnie Grimes gym to where it's more for the community, more for the kids.
Yeah, I would just like to see it with better equipment, better things like that. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is not to be like, yeah, because we should be like this, but we should be like this. I mean, it's been there longer than everything that's been in. It's been there longer than LA Fitness. It's been in there longer than Planet Fitness. It's been there longer than, you know, all those things that have come in. So it's like, why wouldn't you help out the one that's already in your community first?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm not trying to. But yeah, there's so many other things that you have to change. But you know, it's great when it looks better.
Yeah,
it's great when it looks better. I
agree.
You know, it's great when you have some better J's on the last J's.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just I got to bring this up too because I know there's going to be some listeners from York and. My man Ant's from Long Island, so he has an accent. So he was saying it's Claiborne.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
I'm from Brooklyn.
I said somebody from Long Island. But it's Claiborne.
Don't get that. Please don't get that confused. Don't get it confused.
You were saying Claiborne, though.
Don't get it confused.
You were saying Claiborne.
I was saying Claiborne. What's Claiborne?
I don't know, but her name's Claiborne.
It's Loretta Claiborne.
Oh.
So we had to correct you on that.
My bad.
It's all good, though.
That's the word you said 18 times.
But listen.
You did it again.
No, I don't care about that, Ralph. Ralph told me not to hold the mic because I know, like I'm a rapper.
Because he always be holding the mic.
It's working. I'm listening to it.
It's doing this.
Oh.
So I'm trying to hold it up.
Yeah,
I'm doing that, but it's still going.
Yeah, it won't.
It's still going.
Oh, okay. So there was a point to it. Because I'm sorry.
Let me rap. Let me rap. If I want to rap, let me rap.
Give him the mic.
He don't want me to be an artist.
Some bars.
Wayne, I'm sorry.
But now look. While we right there though, because we didn't give these guys a proper introduction.
Yes.
We going too deep into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quick
My
fast.
bad. That was my fault.
So we got two guests on the show today.
Yes.
The episode is basically going to be about the urban culture, hip hop, and just community. Period. And we got two guests, two guys that got a long history of doing things. To make a long story short, Ralph Real.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How you doing?
And Tino Conquest. Both of these guys travel around the world or the United States doing a bunch of things with the community, hip hop, and they just do things. Put it like that. So I'm gonna let both of them, as well as Ant, tell y'all.
Just the host, man.
But you do things too though. So we're not gonna skip you.
We're
not gonna skip you though. So we're basically gonna go in kind of an order to where, you know what I mean. And Ralph Real, just basically tell everybody who you are, your history and what you do. You know what I mean, the places that you've been and just your experience in the culture and as far as music and community. Period.
No doubt. What's going on, y'all? My name is Ralph Real. I tour with Odyssey and Good Company. I tour all over in Europe, overseas a lot. We have Africa coming up. We have Asia coming up. We have Australia coming up. So that's what I do on my daily job. I've been living in New York forever. I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so I consider myself like a 717 brother. But I've been doing music forever. I love music. I love talent. I love gifts.
Gifts. Hold on.
I love
He
gifts.
said he loves gifts.
Hold on.
Give some guys.
Yeah, you know what gifts I'm talking about.
All right, but we got look. We know, but we got to be clear. Like you don't want to just receive. You don't want to be receiving presidents. Out of
Let's be
nowhere.
clear. We don't have any gifts.
You don't want type of gift.
We don't have any
all
gifts right now.
All right, so can I ask you a question?
I love money gifts. I love.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you didn't come here for gifts.
No, I didn't.
All right.
We good.
I mean, the Henny's
to be
fine.
clear.
Yeah.
We in the clear. We in the clear. Right now we in the
But
clear.
no, you know what I'm talking about. But I was talking about. I love creativity, man, and that's my thing. So when I moved from Lancaster and I moved to York, I'll start there because that's better. When I moved to York, I lived by the York Galleria Mall. You know, that's kind of like way outside. So I never knew York, Pennsylvania really had like a city or a culture or anything.
Right.
My mom literally moved me from the mid city of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, straight from the hood, where it was nothing but Boricuas and Dominicanos and Cubanos and Mexicanos. Like, I was still a minority, even though I was black and you know, around a whole bunch of Spanish. Then I was bused 40 minutes outside to a Christian school, which was all white.
Right.
So I was always like a minority, but it was crazy because like when I was a minority in the city, it was accepted. It was like, yo, we got you. We're going to teach you about salsa, merengue, bachata, all this and that. And you do hip hop? Oh, we love that. We love that. So it was accepted. But then when I was bused out to a school like 40 minutes away, it wasn't. And that's another topic. So when I moved back to York, it was like being bused out to that school because it was like literally, okay, I live in York, Pennsylvania, in back of a mall beside this big park called Springersbury. And it was like, yo, this is whack. I went to Central. So the first thing that when I walked into the school and I got dreadlocks and I got some crazy boots on, back in the day we were wearing like these military boots. It was nuts.
You wearing the Doc Martens?
Yeah,
Doc
I was in
Martens
the Doc
boots.
Martens. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Shout out to when he said Lux.
lugs, oh God.
Yo.
Well, I sold them.
He had the Birdman.
But anyway, so in a lot of places I was like, oh snap. But a lot of places I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But it wasn't until I met Grump. Y'all remember Grump?
Shout out
Eddie
to-
Kane.
Shout out to
Y'all
Grump.
know Eddie Kane.
That dude.
So Eddie Kane went to Central for a little bit,
Yeah.
and I met him and his older brother Orlando.
Shout out.
And literally, Eddie Kane and O were the ones that took me down to the city of York. And I was like, what? Yo, y'all got a city? All the brothers right here? Like, oh, I should have been down here. So
You had to come out Parkway. You came out Parkway first then.
yeah, I came straight to Parkway.
Yeah,
Straight
if
to
it was with them, you
Parkway.
came out Parkway.
Straight to Parkway. I saw the dude get strangled out there. But anyway, yo, it was amazing. It was amazing. That's another story.
Was it him? Was it that guy right there?
No.
It wasn't him right there that strangled somebody?
No.
By the door?
I'm not saying any names. They names.
You saw how he scratched
No
his
names.
He did the lineup scratch. Like,
Has it been over 7 years?
Yo. So anyway, so anyway, so that's how I got engulfed and involved with York City. But then it wasn't until my chorus teacher met up with Mr. Yoder from York High. And he was like, yo, I
don't know
got
who
this.
that is.
Mr. Yoder was the music teacher.
No,
He
I
was
just
the
was letting everybody else know. We don't know.
Oh, okay, he was the music teacher at York High at the moment. I don't know if anybody ever had him, but he was good. But anyway, so they met up and he was like, I got this dude from Central. Yo, he plays really good. We want to get into something else. We don't have really anything for him. So oh God. So they had me coming down to York High, and that's where I met everybody from York High, and I was like, oh, it's over. And everybody just thought I went there, and I didn't say I didn't. So it worked. Right. So it worked. But I made beats the whole nine, and that's how I really got acquainted with everybody. Okay. But since then, you know, it's been other people that led me back to the city of York. Camouflage. I remember I used to meet up with Camouflage because I was starting to do a studio. Shout out to Forney. Dave Forney had a studio.
Oh, wow, yeah. Shout out to Forney.
Yeah, man. I had a studio.
Messing with Jesse and them out there in Assorted, right?
Yeah, man. He's at Assorted now.
Yeah.
We had a studio before. It was called Melody Studios, and
Melody.
everybody used to come there. So then I got real acquainted with everybody, and Camouflage helped from York to do that. Like we said, Antoine, before I even had that, helped. So, I mean, There's a lot of things like that. Whatever.
So you from York, basically, at the end of the day, to make a long story
short. So at the end of the day,
York,
man. At the end of the day, I've been in York more than I've been in Lancaster, of course, man. But I've always been back and forth.
So where was the connection started to where you was able to travel the world and you're ending up in Europe and they know you in Europe and.
Yeah, man. That was from my dude Andy Falls when I was in Central. Like this dude, white dude with a big ass beard, but loves soul music, and he moved to DC to like learn more about like soul music and hip hop and go and whatever went on. And he went to school out there,
right?
And he was like, "Yo, if I come out here, you gotta come see me every time." So the first year, I went out there every weekend.
Yeah.
And he met up with my man Rich, DJ Unknown, and DJ Unknown, my man Odyssey. Odyssey hooked up with me, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta play keys on all my tracks." I started doing that since 2001 till now. He started rapping. He doing his thing. He blew up in Europe. Now I'm doing my thing. So that's it.
Wow. So it's been a long time you've been.
Yeah, and that was a really like short span. But I've been rocking with Odyssey since 2001.
Okay. Wow. So how many projects did he put out before you started rocking with him?
Oh my God, one.
Wow.
One. So that was foot in the door.
You've been on basically all of his stuff.
Yeah, man.
With the exception of one
keys, mixing down, singing on hooks, recording, and arranging.
And you guys have been able to travel the world with that material.
Yeah, with that material.
And get to that bag.
Oh my God, yeah.
Get to the bag. Because y'all seen y'all rocking out like thousands of people.
But I mean, getting off of me and going to Odyssey, he's a Sith. It's crazy. He says a Sith is you got to be a part of the Sith movement and stay in the house.
Okay.
Just stay in the house. like you know what I mean? Like when everybody else is like, "Yo, we doing this, we doing that tonight, we doing that." He be like, "What you doing?" "Oh, I'm gonna stay in the house and make some beats." When we doing this and that, when we doing this and that, when we doing that, what you doing? I'm gonna stay in the house, man. I'm trying to write this song.
He's just always working.
He's always working.
He's always working.
He's a set.
Cult following or whatever?
Yeah, what? I'm sorry?
Like a cult following type thing?
No, it's not a cult following thing. It's stay your ass in the house and make beats.
As far as the people that follow.
Odyssey. Odyssey's well.
I'm sorry, the only person I can hear is this for. I'm sorry.
Odyssey's well known around the world and in America. I actually was telling him earlier before we started this that I know a guy that came from Germany. He transferred from Germany to America to work at where I work at. And we over the time we would talk a lot about different types of music, different artists. He picked my brain and said, "Hey, you know this artist? You know this artist?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, no, whatever," on some shit like that. And then one day he told me about Odyssey. He was like, "Yo, you know this group Odyssey?" And I was like, Yeah, I might know a few things, and I just wanted to see what he knew. But I already knew that Ralph was already part of that crew, and he was touring already. This was this year. And then, he started showing me stuff and trying to school me, and I was like, yeah, one of the keyboarders, the keyboardist for that band lives right here. And he was like, what? He was like, and he mentioned his name. He's like, so you know Ralph Real? And I was like, yeah, I know him, and he's from York. He's a York native. And he was like, wow. He was like, it was like I told him that I knew somebody that was part of like a huge...
York's known though.
You know what I'm saying? So, and this is a guy that was born and raised in Germany, moved to America, and he used to go and see them, Ralph and Odyssey, every time they toured out overseas. So they're very well known. It's not mainstream per se, you know what I'm saying? But
it's not mainstream to us.
Yeah,
like
it's not
US
mainstream as far as the state of the game right now. It's a little Lil Uzi and all that other shit, but there's still people that are getting to the bag and they have a big fan base. It's just that is not being as heavily exploited as other people.
Well, I mean,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's like live back in the day when live.
Right.
A lot of people they made it.
They're
big.
still touring.
They made it big, but a lot of people in York still didn't know who live was.
Right.
That's
a fact.
Music.
That's a fact. And see,
a lot of people have moved overseas just to get
Yeah.
on. I mean, Quincy Jones started when he moved overseas, and he was like, "Man, they're really getting it over there." Same thing with Jimi Hendrix played, and the musicians go on. It's just another form of It's birthed here. It's birthed here. So when it's introduced somewhere else, it's like, oh my God, we didn't have this.
The acceptance is
like
different.
the acceptance is totally different. Yeah. But this is the birthplace. So because this is the birthplace, a lot of people have already seen the people that went through seeing it give birth were like, all right, it's done, whatever. All right, cool. Next, what's next? Whatever. We're done with it. So a lot of times people move on. But what happens overseas? stick with it. They endurance it.
I think a lot of artists are able to survive overseas.
I just want to point this out to y'all. Like when you can Google Odyssey. If you Google the top independent rap artists, the names that come up is Yo Gotti, Nipsey Hussle, Tyler the Creator, Joey Badass, Chance the Rapper, Currency, Tech Nine, Mick Jenkins, Odyssey, Rhapsody. Frank Gibbs,
man.
Brown, Migos.
So it's very well known. You know what I mean?
Odyssey's
He's well
crazy,
known.
man. I mean, he's had so much success. Thank you,
Sweating like a pastor in here, baby.
bro.
Got you.
Is it that
got
hot in
us
here?
200 degrees when we shut the door.
Well, yo, let me get to the next guest.
Can we go to Tino?
Yeah, let's introduce
I'm sweating
Tino.
like a mug.
Oh, so
Yeah,
me now?
let me introduce Tino real quick. I can get my own introduction. That's my man and all that. But he can explain where he's from and all the things that he did down south, up north, and everywhere, wherever you've been. So,
Man,
For sure, I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. I don't normally do the talk about me when I'm in my hometown, because I try not to make it about me. But since we're doing this podcast and we're talking about music, let me give my little bit of my background. I've been in the entertainment industry since I was 12. I started out touring as a dancer, so I've been doing this for a long time. I started my own company in 2003, Conquest Entertainment, doing shows around here, started out in promotions. From Conquest Entertainment, I started working with Rough Riders. Shout out to Blake, shout out to Uncle Jamie, shout out to Y&D. That's how I got into the industry, working with Rough Riders. From there, I moved down to Atlanta after working with local artists and producers, Fiend, Temp. We had a little company here. We moved down to Atlanta. In Atlanta, I started getting work other labels, working with Def Jam, working with Job, working with Atlantic, doing a bunch of different clubs down there, working with different people, booking artists, working with people like Trey Songz and D4L and a bunch of people. I came back to York for my son, and we talked about music and community. After doing that, working with my son, and seeing that there was a void in the community part in York. Now I run the Boys Club of York program, try to get back to the community, but at the same time, I'm always involved in entertainment. Me and my partner Fiend, now known as Z Rich, we co-founded a company called High Off Life, where it's all about music, media, advertising, and we still give back to the community. Every year we do a toy drive for Christmas, giving back to needy families. People nominate a family that's in need, and we give back to families. So everything that I do is either in entertainment or in the community. So that's what I do, and we're going to keep this moving. We're going to Bust It Up. Let's go.
all right, before we keep it moving, though, you didn't tell them about your dancing background. Though.
I said I started out as a dancer.
Yeah, but you didn't dig deep into it. Like, tell them about the. Wasn't you involved with YORK?
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Sure, my big
Jeff
bro
C-
Jeff
Jeff
Cease. That's how I started. My big bro was like, yo, we going up to New York to do a TV show. My first ever gig was doing a TV show. That's crazy to me. We went up to New York. It was like 8 people in like an old Honda Civic. And we drove up to New York, squished up, did a TV show.
I never knew this.
Yeah. From there, we started dancing all over the place. They toured. YORK was on the verge of getting signed. Then some tragic things happened, but started dancing all over the place, man. So shout out to Jeff, shout out to YORK, shout out to Reggie.
Word.
Reggie's a big influence in the music industry still today. So and shout out to those guys, man.
Yeah.
I think Wayne wanted me to dance or something. I'm not dancing.
Yeah, give him.
That's not what we here for.
Well, can we get a pop lock or something?
Nah, I
like that?
can't. Nah, I'm gonna shoot it back to my man. My man was over there rocking. Can't do that.
Oh shit! We got to move.
Right.
Yo, let me, because I remember when
Trump.
Oh, here he goes.
That's the end. That's the 10-minute funk. What's that said? Funk or fuck?
Yeah. So
right, so,
I think it was like I think it was like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Right.
You had a producer showcase.
I did.
What year was that? Was that 2014?
That
if I'm not
was-
mistaken. Because
it was.
me and my boy Mook Black was in it.
It was 2014. What I did was it started out as a
Yeah, talk
producer
about that,
battle.
yeah.
There was a couple producers here was talking a lot of heat.
Yo, we did that a long time ago.
That said they wanted to do a producer's battle.
Let me ask you a question. Did they
Go
show
ahead.
up?
No,
But I did.
you sure did.
I did.
I had
know
to
I'm
change,
looking at you.
I had to change it from
I
a
did.
producer's battle to a producer symposium
I did.
because all the people that wanted the heat, they didn't show up.
Wait,
But I did.
why didn't I know about that?
Shit.
Maybe
I'm glad you
traveling
didn't
at
show
that
up. I
time.
would have
You
lost.
Probably.
You all over the world,
I would
so
have fucking lost.
I never get the show.
I would have
Yeah.
caught a Capitol L-bomb if he would have came.
Yeah, he got good reviews.
That's not fair. You supposed to be on the panel though, Ralph. That's fucked up.
Yeah, we had shout out to
trying to
Agony.
be compete with me.
Agony was on the panel, platinum producer.
Agony
was on the panel. We had my man Reggie, who was the marketing promoter for Knots.
Yes, Reggie, yes.
Oh, Knots, yeah, Knots is
Absolutely.
great, man. Knots is amazing, man.
We had my man DJ Rec from Philly Fire music label.
Okay.
And then we had Fred, local representative from Streetwork Entertainment. So we had some heavy hitters in there.
Good, Fred's been in it forever.
For sure.
And what do you see? Do you have any plans for the music scene in York? And if you want to chime in as well, the music scene in York. You know, we got a lot of rappers. We're probably gonna get into a freestyle later on.
Right. I see a couple of them in here. They look like they ready to spit something.
And I heard a few of them. I heard their music.
Okay.
I actually worked on one of the artists that's going to be freestyling tonight's album.
Okay.
And there's a lot of talent. And it's three people that we got coming on later on. But I mean, there's a lot of other rappers and singers in York City.
Yeah.
There's producers. Like my man Chris Black. He just got a track with Dripset Freaky, Lil Freaky, and Young Thug.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Shout out to Chris Black for that Young
Chris
Thug.
Black, what up, man?
Salute.
Young, you know what I mean?
Man,
And now
shout
he's
out.
working with Trendsetter Shady. And, shout out to my man Chris
Shout
Black.
out.
There's a lot of people that's doing a lot of things in York and that's trying to put that groundwork in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But I look, when I realized that, because my man Mook Black, shout out to Mook Black, sorry to name drop, but it's
Right.
all local
Black.
guys. It's all local guys, shout out to my man Mook.
Mook, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you.
Yeah, you are. By the way, you are supposed to get back at him. He told me.
I be messing
He's
over.
gonna hear this shit too.
I be messing
Just wanted to
over.
let you know. But anyway, yeah. So, we got a lot of producers. We got a lot of singers.
Yeah.
We have a lot of rappers.
Right.
We have a lot of musicians.
Right.
And we got people like Ralph who always comes back. He's always reaching out and he's always giving back. And it's a great thing. We got people like you. And I didn't know that you actually were the one that put that whole event together. I
Right.
appreciate that.
No problem. No doubt.
Because I don't normally partake in events or anything like that. I'm really when it comes to my art, my music, and everything like that. I'm really secluded. I
Right.
like to do a certain select few.
Right.
But I stepped out for my man Moon. When I saw it was you, I remember all the things that you did when Fiend first started to make that big push and
Right.
how hard you guys went.
Right.
And I thought, man, I'm gonna go out even harder for this because I know Tino don't fuck around when he's putting some shit together.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
know you really put some shit together. So
I appreciate
when
that.
I saw, absolutely, bro. Like honestly, when I saw your name attached to that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be official. And I remember when we went there, it was everything I expected it to be for an event that you throw. So I just want to say I appreciate that. And it was great to meet Ag, especially Ag was fresh off that Ariana Grande.
Exactly. Fresh off.
Off that Ariana Grande placement. He had the Justin Bieber placement. So you didn't have no small fries in the building.
At all.
So that was definitely, I appreciate that. But going forward, when you see people like Ralph sitting across the table from you, right? You're sitting across the table from Ralph. You guys have done some monumental shit.
Yeah.
And you guys have helped not only other artists, but you've also pushed yourself to certain plateaus and you've established things.
Not to cut you off, but
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
go ahead.
I've been a fan. I mean, I've
Yeah,
been
me
at
too.
Tino's events. I've I'm the dude that these are the people that I look up to. These are the people that helped York get in, and I just kind of got pushed in. But
Singing ass niggas.
yeah.
I didn't talk about that part. I didn't talk about that.
You know, like, we remember that.
Yeah, so I mean,
But when I look at people like you, and there's a lot more people that, shout out to Lil T.
yeah, Lil
Did you
T.
see him? Lil T is on a web series on YouTube.
Step up.
Step Up, and he's from York. And
For sure.
I remember when Lil T used to dance with Fiend.
Z Rich just went to his premiere.
I
And
gave
they
him
went
his
down-
first show.
Yeah, and
First
now
show.
I saw he had a whole interview. It's got millions of views, and it's through YouTube.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
shout out to him. He's another person representing for York.
Let's talk about that
And
real
he
quick.
mentions York. Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about it real quick.
Because I remember when that stuff first pulled, and you guys first made that push down south, you were very instrumental in it.
Yes, sir.
So talk about that.
T and Fiend actually came down together. I went down first. When we first moved, we kind of made a decision. Are we going to go to New York? Are we going to go to Atlanta? Are we going to go to Philly? What are we going to do? We're at the point right now where we can make a push And we don't know how to do that in New York, in a small market. The internet wasn't where it is right now, so we knew if we wanted to make that push, we had to move.
You had to be in the mix.
Exactly. We kind of been to Philly a couple times. We've been to New York. So my sister was living in Atlanta. I took them down to Atlanta. We took a trip. We came back. We said Atlanta's where it's at.
Let me ask you a quick question. That note, when you was down in ATL, because I've been to ATL plenty of times on music, business, and stuff like that.
I love ATL.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed coming from New York City, which is even more of an extreme as far as like everybody's for themselves.
Right.
You know, when you walk in the studio, I was in the studio with Stah Shabazz and all his peoples was like looking at me like they was ready to fucking eat me alive. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's how
they probably would.
Yeah.
Because them niggas in Yonkers is hungry.
Oh, I
you know
got
what I'm
Rough Rider
saying?
stories. Like,
you know
yeah, they don't play. Yeah.
Niggas in Yonkers is hungry.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
New York is
saying?
hungry.
But yeah, so you know, when I went down to Atlanta, I got to meet like all these Grammy Award winning producers in one shot. You know, I'm chopping it up with C Note, I'm chopping it up with Justice League, I'm chopping it up with Group Chambers. We just shooting shit, and everybody's just being real. Like it's this Southern hospitality is implemented within the music politics business.
Right.
So I could totally understand how you guys wanted to set up shop there.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about like the first like experiences that you had out there that made you say, yo, this is where we need to set up shop for the future.
Well, one of the first experiences that we had was we went out there, went to visit. We went out a couple places, went to a couple different clubs, and from the gate, like I said, people was opening.
Fire.
They were open.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and they ready to there wasn't no guard up like, you know, who are you? Why are you talking to me? Like,
yo, but Atlanta really is black excellence though.
Black excellence, black Hollywood.
Like it's you know, Atlanta's one of those places where there literally is generations of millionaires.
It feels good. It feels good.
And it does, and they make
good.
you feel good. But like, you know how we go to places like Towson, right?
Right.
And you see all these generations of other races of millionaires.
Yeah.
But when you go to Atlanta, you go to Lexington Mall, you go to all the little spots, the little Jamaica and all that little spot. It's crazy because everybody is looking like how those people in Towson and those people in Timonium and them people in Laurel, Maryland are looking.
Times two.
Just
Times three.
It's black
because it's not just
millionaires.
music, it's not just entertainment. You got engineers down there.
Yeah.
You got a lot of entrepreneurs down there.
Thing, yeah.
Like you got strippers down there. Like everyone is about their business.
Yeah, the strippers are cool out there too.
And that's what I was gonna say. That
it's about their business.
That's the roundabout.
Money.
And when it comes to Atlanta, everybody's about first black business is serious.
That's a fact.
Right.
Yes.
And so it's one of the places that you can come to and be like, wow.
Yeah.
Like if black ruled the world, it would be like Atlanta.
Yeah, it really is.
And if they know you're serious, they know you're about your business, they're going to embrace you.
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong, it's still Hollywood, it's still cliquish, it can be.
Absolutely.
But because there's so many people saying that they're doing something that they're not.
Right.
Like if they don't feel that you're genuine and that you can really back up what you're saying, you're not going to be embraced.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Period.
You gotta back up what you're saying.
So how was you able to get embraced?
Security.
Well, for one, I came with the background already. And before I even moved down there, I networked. So I met a couple people that was also on the come up and doing things for other people. So when I went down there, I was introduced to people in the industry by people that they trusted already.
Right.
Because they saw my background that I did here as Conquest Entertainment. So going down there and said, look, this is my man Tino, he's from Pennsylvania. You know, he's doing this, that, and the third. And you know, they embraced me. Like, well, what can we do together?
So
that's the first thing. What can we do together?
So it was that foundation that you already established out here,
Yeah.
and how official it was,
Exactly.
and how well executed it was.
Exactly.
That was what basically led them to say, okay, I can take a guy like this serious.
Right.
That makes total sense.
Right.
I can parallel that to the experience I had out there.
Yeah.
And the people that I met, you know, I've been in Atlanta a lot, but I'm still talking to people who are very active in the game, who I met 3-4 years ago.
Right.
And the crazy thing is they're gonna move as fast as you're gonna move, if I'm right. Like if they see how fast you move and if they see how persistent you are, then they're gonna look at you and they're gonna take you serious based on your actions.
And not only that, they're not gonna move as fast as you're gonna move, they're gonna move without you. So if you don't
Absolutely.
if
Because
you don't
there's so
really
many
want
people
it,
doing the
Facts,
same
man.
thing you're doing.
Exactly.
Facts.
On a high level.
Exactly.
So you know
Yeah.
you've got the NBA, which is that's where everybody's on NBA level. You got somebody who's walking down the block who's a graphic designer. You got a bunch of graphic designers that are on the same level, NBA level. You know what I'm saying? And once they see you in that D-League level, they're going to be real polite with you. And they're going to wait till you develop. And they'll always keep that relationship. But they're not going to open up everything and they're not going to invest in you because that's exactly what they'll be doing, right? They'll be investing their word.
Right.
If they say you're good and you're not good, and they can pick another person out of a dozen, and say, "Oh, this person's doing better than you," because that's what it's like out there. Then they're not going to invest in you.
I mean, it's still dog.
You know
It's the industry, so it's dog eat dog.
Yeah,
So,
but it's unlike any other place. It's unlike Philly. It's unlike New York.
Absolutely.
Where in New York, you can have all the talent in the world. You could be at that NBA talent level, but you can't expand in a place like New York. You can't expand in a place like Philly.
Right.
So, you know, Tino, Fiend, and T was the first people that I ever saw make that move to Atlanta and take it serious and actually reach a new level.
So,
And it was crazy when they came back how it looked.
So I was talking about T real quick. So I want to talk about him. Like when I say I gave him his first show, I say that only because he acknowledges that. And he started out with a dance group in Harrisburg. It was a mix of people, and they opened up for Cassidy when we brought Cassidy here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh my God, I remember that.
When Fiend performed, that was his first actual show. And from there, being on the stage, he was open. He was like, you know, I've been dancing forever, but this is what I want. When they moved to Atlanta, you know, I just tell them they eating ramen noodles every night. Like they're struggling, going through the struggle to get there.
Yeah, that hardest
He's paying for dance lessons out of school. Like that's how he got in with Swagger Crew, being on America's Best Dance Crew. Now he's paying for school. Now he's working. He's being an intern. He put in his dues. Then he took a leap of faith going over to L.A. Audition after audition after audition after audition after audition, and finally got that call. Now it's on YouTube, but it's on YouTube Red through Lionsgate. Like people say YouTube, and it might not sound good, but it's through Lions. Like it's a major.
Not today though, because if you look at that, if you heard about that Disney deal where Disney's buying Fox,
right?
YouTube is involved in that.
Oh, YouTube.
Real quick, now, real quick, can I ask?
Yes.
Was Fiend just at that premiere?
Fiend is out in LA right now.
Because I saw he was out of LA right now.
Yeah, he went to the premiere.
And he went to the premiere. I saw them both. They just took a picture together. They both.
Fiend,
First of all,
aka
I've
Z-Rich,
never
you gotta say
seen
that, Z-Rich.
Fiend in a suit. And
Right, they had blazers on.
He had a blazer on. He had the white tux. It was
that is the most
serious.
hip hop nigga in the world.
Right.
Yeah, it was serious.
He's going to the Grammys.
Hold on, Taraj.
Let me ask you this.
Hold on, this is my man
Because
Bennett.
you're high off life.
that you've been in the industry, right?
Right.
And y'all had a lot of opportunities, you
Right.
know what I mean? But y'all chose like Fiend, especially
Right.
Fiend.
Right.
He chose the underground route.
Correct.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, with Jazzy, or the whole history,
Yeah.
Ron Artest,
Yeah.
that was the, you know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of people wanted to like really deal with Fiend.
Right.
And I remember Fiend having a thing where they wanted him to make songs that kids can sing. But Fiend's too intelligent
Right.
to write songs for kids.
Correct.
So he felt like a lot of people would think that would be dumb because he missing that bag. But he
Right.
felt like his message was worth more.
Correct.
So I just kind of want you to kind of elaborate on
Sure.
why he chose to stay. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to ask why he chose to stay real.
Right.
But what came with that decision of staying real with himself,
Well,
doing what he loved to do?
That's a good question. And Fiend grew up with Nas. He grew up with like even though he was a younger dude, he grew up on pure hip hop. So in his heart, that's what he felt. So I'm gonna let the cat out the bag. He's been on a podcast right now. He has wrote for some people that's done some dance songs, but that's not what he does. He doesn't want to sacrifice the integrity of his artistry for a check or for a bag. I hear people all the time, why isn't Fiend Z-Rich farther than when he is? He's taking a lot of office, he's taking a lot of meetings, but the check and your integrity don't balance out. It just doesn't. So the reason why he chose to stay the path that he is because he's in this for the long run. You can be trendy, or you can build a fan base so that you can have a long career doing what you want to do, something that you love. So that's why he chose to stay the path that he is.
There wasn't nobody trendy on the Album of the Year awards. I just want to say that.
Talk about it.
If you look at the Grammys,
right.
and you look at the Album of the Year, there was nobody trendy on it.
Right.
It was all real rap.
And I think part of that is going to the climate of the industry today is that people you're now as an artist, because you don't have to worry about radio. You don't have to worry about some of the things that you have to worry about before. Now you can go back to being an artist because if you get on the right person's playlist, if you get on the right person's stream, your audience will find you.
Right.
And then they will follow you. So you don't have to worry about some of the things that you had to worry about in the past.
I agree. I think the streaming, a lot of people clowned and a lot of people downplayed streaming 3 years ago.
Right.
But I was telling somebody, I was like, just from 2015 to 2016, what we were talking about as far as like clout, right? When we think about clout with an artist and when their album drops or a hot artist, we were talking in 2015, we were still talking about album sales.
Yeah.
Right.
We were still talking about hard copied album sales.
Right.
2015, 2016. And then 2016, the ending of 2016 and 2017 was all about streams. Now
that was
you get
gone.
60,000 streams and you killed it. You did great.
Yeah.
And they're including streams from all different platforms into your album sales.
Oh yeah.
But you know,
Streams, views, everything.
I mean, that gets us to a whole nother can of worms, though.
Right, but I
Like,
think,
you know what I mean?
think it's necessary, right? Because, you know, we talk about you guys heading down to Atlanta, setting up a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You were ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
You guys did that like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, and you guys were able to come and accomplish a lot. Like, I met up with Fiend a couple times. We crossed paths at places when I was out there doing my networking thing. And he's always full of gems. The guy is very, 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 very smart, and he's very balanced, and you know he's very calculated. That's one thing I always liked about that dude. You know what I'm saying? And he's very humble. He always remembers where he comes from. You know what I'm saying? It's always YC. But you know, thinking about Fiend and his path and everything that you guys created from the beginning till now, it's like with the way the game is now with streaming, we're able to actually take control of our own destiny from from beginning, middle, end, and we have control over what we receive as far as our you know, like what we're supposed to receive monetarily from our music with streaming too, and we're able to calculate where we want to distribute it.
Yeah, it's a direct connect.
Do you think it's necessary? Because the only reason why I bring that up now, and it's not to downplay any decisions. Obviously, you adjust. You seem like the type of people, your team, and you and Fiend, you guys adjust with the times. Mm-hmm. You guys seem to know when to put your hand on the climate and say, okay, this is what we need to do to stay ahead of the curve. Mm-hmm. Foresight. Do you think it's necessary to relocate when you have stuff like streaming and social media and stuff like that? Do you think it's necessary to relocate in order to establish that first push?
I don't think it's necessary to relocate depending on your pulse of the industry, depending on where you're at. There's a lot of people who, especially if they're living in a small market, who don't get really, unless they're doing their own research, they don't really get a true understanding of how the industry works. Okay. The internet brings you closer to everyone all over the place. But if you don't know how to work it, if you don't know how the industry works, then it doesn't really help you. Mm. So us relocating at that time, it kind of helped us get involved and get more acclimated with how different parts of the industry work. Okay. Right now, you can sit home, you can be in a small market, but you have to do your research at the same time.
Absolutely.
You can't just sit at home in any market and expect to have the internet break you or something like that without working. It's just not going to happen.
But amongst that, just to add on, you still have to be able to perform. I don't care who you are. If you literally think that you can just make a living on the internet and not see anybody and not have to go on a stage and perform and relive what they heard is ridiculous.
I'm rolling regardless. Mill, come right here.
Ralph, you can go back on. You were talking about the importance of performing, doing shows and harvesting a fan base is what I think you were getting at. But go ahead.
I think a lot of people are getting caught up in the fact that like all I need is streams. Yes, streams will get you very far, but very quickly. The thing that comes after that is your face has to be seen, and you have to be on a stage, and you have to understand that I have to take what I made and I had to distribute it to real people that really look at you on a stage.
How does an indie artist do that? How do they start to do that? Do they do those showcases where you get a certain amount of guests, and then you know what I'm saying?
One thing is this. I can't tell you because first of all, one, I'm older, so I'm from old school. Like I thought I had to go play shows first to gain fans, to get people, and then be like,
so not to cut you off, but to feed off of what you just said, both of y'all, Tino and Ralph, like. All the knowledge that y'all are getting from the music industry and everything that you've been through, you're still traveling the world, you're still working with artists, you're still doing this.
Right.
The question that I have is the up-and-coming artists that surround you.
Right.
Every day, 717. Are you given the knowledge that you learned daily.
Yes, nobody wants to do it.
Hold on, let me finish. I'm not done.
Go ahead, let me finish.
Are y'all giving the knowledge to the everyday artist that's out here putting all this extra work and trying to be a rapper, singer, whatever, being as though you have all this knowledge that you learned throughout your 10-year, 20-year experience? So my thing is, it's easy to say like, yo, I did this, but are you reaching back to the people that's doing it, that's trying to come up?
Are you ready for
Both
this?
of y'all.
Are you ready for this? I've told people for years, 10 years plus. I got my brother Bennett here that can tell you. I told people, yo, hey man, you know what you should do? You should get your own studio. The money that you're paying on studio time, you can have your own studio, have it at your house, and I can come over to your house, engineer at your house, and do whatever you want me to do. Right. And so many people were like, nah, man, but I'm going to just come to you, man. I'm going to just come to the building because you know what you're talking about. And I was like, no. What I'm saying to you is you could pay me to teach you how to record. Right. If I could tell you how many people I told you that, and if I had a penny for everybody, I literally would be rich. There's only about 4 people that took to that. One of them are on my left. Now, the thing is this. Finally, and he can equate, when he got the picture and said, yeah, I could have been doing this forever. Right. And he literally was like, I can just record it to you and give it to you and you master it and do what you got to do. And I said, yeah, it works so perfect and so quickly that we were like working every day quickly. Right. But the thing is the point of it, yes, we can say, me and Tino can say whatever we want. It's the point, who's going to take the information and really apply it? Because this is what happens, and I'm sorry not to cut you off really quick, but we get so sick of telling people the information and telling them what they need to do and nobody applying it. And that's the problem, and that's the problem that we're having, is nobody applies the information. And then when we try, we just keep saying, yo, you know what, I'm done with trying to teach people all the time that just don't want to learn. So what happens is you start scaling down the people that you want to teach.
Right. Now I get that. So my thing is this, because I gotta give you the other side of the people that might be watching, the artists that might be watching. Is of course the point is like it's okay if you telling them that. Like if I tell somebody something without telling them why, like you just got to tell them like, look, this is what I've been through. Yeah. Or you just telling them like, yo, you should do this, you should do this. Or you saying like,
there's no
you should do this.
Easy way
out. No, it's not about easy way out. It's the point of how you delivering it. When you talking to somebody that might be 18, 17, that wants to rap, that wants to sing, are you just telling them, yo, you should do it this way, you should do it this way? Or are you saying, look, based off my experience of what I seen, you know what I mean, showing them your resume? Because people today want to see what you did or what you've been through if they're taking your advice.
Well, tell you the truth, I don't tell any, for me, I don't, and I wish Fresh was here.
Hold on, Ralph, just because you said that, I got to cut in on that. Because I think I can answer that a little better because I'm somebody from Ralph teaching.
Yeah, but my thing is, it's different from y'all two teaching. Y'all both over 30.
Like, you asked him how, how does it, I can come into, what I'm saying is, all right, so teaching somebody how to record, right? So, I record with Fresh. You know what I'm saying? I record a lot of people. And I engineer their shit. And one thing about me is I don't like engineering because I'm not an engineer.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But I got a studio, so if I believe in your music, you can come record for free. You can do whatever. You already know that way. I mean, you was there when I started everything. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is what I learned from Ralph. I learned that I sent Ralph the best mixes Ralph ever had. I don't know what the fuck a gigahertz is. I don't know nothing about mixing down.
Killer. Nope.
I just listen to it by ear, but what Ralph taught me, I just know what it sound like. I sit there and tell everybody every day, like, yo, maybe my studio ain't open, but you can come record. You feel what I'm saying? All you got to do is this. Right. Because that's how I learned how to record. I used to go to the studio with Ralph and Ted, and they gotta go upstairs and eat dinner because they wife cooked dinner, and they be like, "Yo, just hit this button, this button."
Exactly.
That's how I learned how to record.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people did.
No, but so that's
this is the thing. This is the thing. So what we're saying is this. What I'm
saying is
y'all going outside of my original point.
No, because this gets back to your.
This gets do that. When I tell Fresh and them, yo, just do this, they don't do that, so they don't come record. Like, yo, you just push this button.
Nobody.
Don't come record.
What you're saying is this. You're saying,
and they put it all on me.
How can we give you an A? Wait, hold on, real quick. You're saying, how can we give you an A, B, and C template of what to do? Right. And the thing is, somebody made that template of what to do.
Right.
So you could select it and be like, oh, I'm on. But the thing is, there's no real template when it comes to music.
Right.
Because now that music has now equated to the internet and things like that where you can be more seen, there's so many different ways that it's being made up. Now, what I can say to you is this. When I deal with artists, I say, let me hear you first. Let me hear what you're doing, because I'm not just going to be like, oh, yeah, homie, yeah, you need to get a passport. And after you get your passport, go over to Europe and you can go to these places and see if you can play. That doesn't make sense. But no, how do I do this? You know what I say? Hey, man, come to the studio and just see how we work. Come see how we vibe. Hey, I have a studio session this date. I'd be great to teach you what I do on compression
but even
and
going
how to
back
record
to that,
this.
And not to interrupt you, but going back to that, to what he said about are you reaching out to these younger artists, even saying something like that, come to the studio. The answer for some of these, well, why do I need to do that? Like they question and they rebuttal everything that
Go on, Tino, preach. Go on, preach, bro.
So that it goes back to saying, well, why should I even offer? Like we'll constantly put the line out there, but depending on how you respond, will depend on how we come back and offer that advice.
We're not teaching everybody.
I had somebody tell me that they don't need it. I can put you in a position where you can get placements. I don't need that.
Need a horse to the water.
Wayne, we're suffering from the boss mentality.
Everybody they are doing everything the right way.
People want to drop the music and they want to say, yo, I own 100% of my shit, this and that.
Yeah.
But they're not doing the recording, they're not doing the production.
They're not doing nothing.
They're not even doing the financing.
Yo, a lot of
their own
so a lot of these guys ain't even leasing the beat for $20. They're not even leasing the beat for $20. A lot of these guys coming to the studio, Wayne, with the shit that says purchase this beat for $19.99, and they're rapping.
Nobody wants to work, Wayne.
They don't even want to do that.
They got a boss. Like they coming out saying, "Yo, I'm a boss." Like, yo, nah, I own my. Like they just naming a company. They're not going through the process that you went through.
One of the things I said real quick is,
and they're just screaming out names. You see,
man. Once they start, know what they're talking.
They don't own nothing.
Hold on.
But they want to be bosses.
Once they start coming out with, I do this, I do that, I do that, and I do the third. I say, well, do you have a split sheet?
They don't even know what the split sheet is.
Yo,
the basics.
Hold up.
But then they don't want to listen to nothing.
They don't even know what the fuck the split sheet is.
You ready for this? You ready for this? If you think...
Ask them their BMI number.
Wait, hold on. If you think for 1 second that the only thing that you have to do is write 16 bars and spit on somebody else's beat in somebody else's studio and you own everything, you're ridiculous.
Bugging.
You're the low end on the totem pole.
Yo, there's a lot of things you got to do before you can even think about writing a fucking song.
Now, if
I ask these questions though because there are people that will reach out the proper way and that aren't willing to do it. So if they if they will reach out to y'all sitting right here, because Tino does his thing, Ralph, Bennett, Tone, y'all all do your own thing. So if there are people that want to reach out like that, then you have to. I just feel like it's a certain way to address somebody, like not on y'all behalf. Like they gotta come correct. They gotta work. I understand what
a lot of them come to us.
Hold on. There are people that are going to come the right way. So when you talking to them, because we all know the average 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20, 21, the whole way up to maybe 25. When you tell somebody something, they don't want to hear. It's
not about what they want to hear.
No, listen. Let me finish what I'm saying. You got if you came and told me something at 18, 19 years old, I want to know what do you know about that? You know what I mean? Like, what do you know? Why are you just talking? If you're talking to a kid,
you know what?
If you're coming around because you know he's legit.
But the bottom line, listen, hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. There are people out there. It's easy for y'all to say.
He's coming from
it's no disrespect to none of y'all. But at the end of the day, y'all are doing things already. There are 17, 18-year-olds that want this for real. So if they are coming to you this way, they want to know, why do you know this? Hold on, let me finish. Take it to a whole street, take it to a whole different level. Because he just mentioned some street stuff. So if somebody is talking you shouldn't do this, why shouldn't I do that, old head? Right. Or why should I do this, old head? Don't just say you should do this. No, this is what I've been through when I'm traveling Europe. I'm gonna tell you my experience from traveling Europe. Or I'm gonna tell you my experience. I work with Fiend. I work with this. Are you giving them your resume to show them that you are the man to answer
and it's exactly by what I come back to saying before. That's why I don't tell them anything. I say, come to the studio, see what we're doing, and after you see what we're doing, see if it's up to you to make the decision.
And then you're gonna tell them
yes,
who you are.
For me, there is no verbal conversation of like, yeah, I did this and I did this. I don't do that, Wayne, ever.
No,
I literally say this. I
do that.
Hey man, you're really talented. I would really like to work with you. I'd really like to show you some things. And then if they say, yeah, no doubt, can I come with you? Of course you can. Now, what would I tell the average person who just walks up to me on the regular? I would tell them, hey man, study studio production.
And there's a reason.
Study things that you don't.
Let me ask you this, Wayne. Think about this. Fresh. Just take Fresh for an instance, right? Let me get this. Just take Fresh for an instance.
Perfect example. Perfect.
Can Ralph get Fresh to listen to him, or can you get Fresh to listen to him first?
Depending on what you're talking about.
Automatically, you.
Huh?
Listen to what I'm saying.
No, it depends on what you're talking about.
Listen to what I'm saying. It's a whole bunch of, you feel what I'm saying? Just say if you're talking to a dude with a job. Dude got a job, he work in his company, right? And you just a young dude, you talking to him. He might be saying the realest shit that you ever heard in your life. But it's like, all right, whatever. But what if your OG telling you the same thing?
You're going to listen differently.
What if that dude in the street that's doing the same thing that you doing, that's older, that you watch do it, is telling you the same thing? So you can get Fresh to listen to Ralph's message before Ralph, because he feel like Ralph don't understand him.
So what he's saying, familiarity makes a difference. Familiarity makes a difference.
And this is where me and Ralph make a great team, man, because I can get, what I'm saying to him is nothing different than what he's saying. I'm just saying it more. I'm saying this, you know how it's the same message.
Y'all come from a different.
It's coming from you instead of Ralph.
Yeah.
You know what
and the thing is,
your word is a little bit more. You know what I mean?
We tag team it.
So that's what happens a lot of times when you look at engineers. When you look at engineers and producers, think about what type of people engineers and producers are.
Right.
People that study computers, like
I study manuals.
So it's hard for them to actually relate on any other level besides music.
I don't know how.
And when you can relate to somebody that you're doing music with outside of music, you'll do music with that person.
It's hard to find an artist to blend with.
But let me see if I can tie it up and then see if we can move forward. So at the end of the day, not only is it familiarity that the artists look for, but also it depends on the state of mind that you're at. Every artist is not at the state of mind.
Right.
You have your artists that come with the boss mentality. You have your artists that come with the I'm hungry. You have different type of artists. But depending on what type of artist that you're working with and talking to, they're going to receive it differently.
Right.
And depending on where you're at in your level of your career, you're either going to deal with how they're receiving you, or you're just going to move on. Like, we've been through so much. So once we put out that carrot, if you don't bite,
then it's like, why should I give you any other information?
I can't force feed you. Like, if I'm offering my time to you and I'm not charging
why would I give you any other information?
Right.
Yeah.
If
they come in with the attitude, and then once they see what really goes into it, then they get turned off, and they're like, "Fuck, I'm not ready to put in all this work. I put in work in this shit."
Okay, but my thing is that we're not just speaking on the people that's coming with a negative attitude.
These are people that are coming with a positive attitude.
I just spoke on everybody.
Yo, Wayne, there's people that come to you. Yo, Wayne, let me just say one thing. There's people that come to you and say, "Yo, I really want to learn this shit. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this." Right, I've had people.
They don't come.
Listen, I've had people. Local,
they don't come.
Hold on, I had people that come to me. It came to me, people that I love, and I still got love for. They say, "Yo, I want to learn producing." They hear where I'm at, and they're, it's just like anything, right? You hear where that person's at, and you automatically want to jump levels to get to that. But they don't know all the years and time and shit you put in to get to it. So when you're teaching them the basics is boring.
Right.
The basics of basketball is boring. Nobody wants to sit there and shoot foul shots fucking all day.
They want
Nobody
the
wants to sit
glamour.
there
But you have to.
and practice dribbling all day.
But
when you teach them how you got to cut out how the human voice is at 1.5 to 3.5 kilohertz, and you want to do low pass roll off and shit like that, you start losing niggas.
How many people are willing to hear that you're not hot? You don't have it. Yeah, you have it, but
Facts.
you need to do this.
Preach.
Yeah,
that's also true.
this and
Yeah.
that. How many people are actually willing to realize they're not who they think they are?
Because I'll tell
You have to be.
But that's
how many people want to hear that they have a lot of work to do?
But listen, that's after
to get to that.
That's after the initial. Listen, if I walk into this room and it's a bunch of y'all here, and I'm asking y'all, I need help. I'm willing to put the work in. I'm speaking for the people that are hungry.
That's what I said.
Not the negative. Let me finish. Not the negative people that don't want to put the work in. I'm asking when I walk in the room and I say, yo, I seen your face before. Are you Ralph?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know too much about can you help me with this?
Let's
what are you
interact it.
How are you dressing? Okay, so if I walk into the room and say, listen, I'm a hot artist. I heard my man Tone introduced me to you. He said your name is Ralph.
And I like you.
So I heard. I might not have heard you though. I might not have heard much of you. But how are you helping me? And how can you help me? What did you do for me to even want to take your help?
Cool, no doubt.
What did you ever do for me to even want to? Take it. What did you do? You said what did you do for me to want to take your advice?
First of all,
are we giving that proper information out?
We are
from the beginning for me to want to say I want to work with you.
We are
because y'all know what y'all talking about.
We are.
You know what I mean?
We are. People give up on us.
But it's not. But you can't say that for everybody. Do it. That's like me saying. That's like me saying. If you say somebody's giving up on you,
then you don't want on.
Listen, but that's like he said they give up on y'all. That's like me saying, look, you're not even reaching. You know all this shit, but you're not reaching out to these kids.
Hold on.
That's 17.
Absolutely. Let me answer that.
Yeah, but are you reaching out to everybody?
Let's wrap it up.
Okay, that's my point. So my thing is,
but the ones who do reach out to me, I look.
Wrap it up.
Let me answer that just from a promotion standpoint.
1 minute.
Wayne questioned me when I was in Atlanta. Wayne gave me the same kickback that he's talking about.
Exactly.
But guess what? Wayne stayed hungry. Wayne didn't give up. So that's why you're still doing. That's why we're still working.
Wayne, perfect example.
Exactly.
What he's saying is true though.
Exactly.
Some people give up.
Tino, I'm about to tell you right. Wayne, perfect example. When you. All right, we about to have a freestyle session going on right now with my man Fresh to my right, Homebase Mook to my left, and then right next to me is my nigga Stah Shabazz. Let's get it. Homebase, you want to take it up? Yeah.
Homebase, nigga. If you ain't home, you ain't safe, nigga. Check my resume, man, I'm good any hood. I'm still out west, no biggie like I'm shook. Ran through the north, but I bleed through the east. Cut my heart open, let it bleed on this beat. Niggas dropping dimes, giving leads to police. But I'm still in the streets like with the keys to the Jeep. Soon as a nigga beat, we gon' take what we need. Like all this shit for my team. All my niggas is spleen. All them niggas you huddle with, Harley Hard is my team. I put it on the line like Killer, you know Killer. I'd rather be a gorilla than a dope dealer. The coolest monkey in the jungle, nigga, no figure. Still rap a nigga in the basement, no tigger. Last cypher, I told niggas I was the nicest. Lack acknowledgement ain't a form of disliking. Lack acknowledgement is a form of being frightened. Niggas taking shots with your form, we didn't like it. So even if you hit, you still miss, nigga. Wayne, I knew I was a pimp since like 6, nigga. My brother tell you about $1, I'm about a bitch, nigga. I make that bitch chase the bag until I'm rich, nigga. I probably break that bitch ankles if she quit, nigga. My nigga Bird said I'm always on some shit, nigga. If I could pay him for his loyalty, he rich, nigga. I move him through kids to the sticks, nigga. My best friend a P.O. Ain't that some shit, nigga? But he a real nigga first, so he legit, nigga. Plus I told him he straight, he with the click, nigga. A lot of niggas disagree though. I'd rather see my nigga get his masters than a kilo. These niggas that I'm with shoot faster than my nigga D-Lo. If you ain't bout green, then it's fuck you like CeeLo. Homebase, nigga. If you ain't home, you ain't safe, nigga. Hold up.
You still going?
Let a nigga try, and he gon' die trying. This is bad timing. I'm the bad guy and I'm mad rude, but I'm mad cool. Keep my shades on cause I'm that cool. I'm sicker than the nigga that was in a bad mood. This my classroom, you break class rules and your ass doomed. No principal ass dudes, my pencil pass due. Fuck shooting up ad hoops. These shooters get at you. My shooters they mad cool. They adapt you then clap you. Then call the ambulance and help them bring back you. Yo bitch man she mad cool. She suck like a vacuum, nigga. Face up, nigga.
Stah Shabazz.
This is classic. Jimi Hendrix gon' acid a pair of his favorite glasses, destroying a couple axes. World spins on his axis, weed turns into ashes. Souls just keep passing the speed you couldn't imagine. Live life to the fullest, you don't get it in fractions. Fist fights turn to bullets. Now they asking what happened. One gives his life to prison, the other sits in the casket. 2 mothers lose their sons. Day to day it's so tragic. Cops killing blacks, taking it too far. Every week it's back to back. Mike Vick and a new dog. Must be legal, no consequences, cause they just walk off. But a blind man always hears what the deaf man saw. Meaning use your first eye before your your second and third one. Rewind a bit back and do that when my verse come. My mind's the same place the beats getting the hearse from. This is cypher too. If you wasn't here for the first one, I'm better than the rest of them. Haven't heard a threat for them. The death that's meant for them. The same cousin that has slept with them. Was it really a dream or really just inception? Was it made to believe or another man's deception? Where I'm from, I'm diseased from color man neglection. Suffered by the hands of another man's oppression. You feed us to the patent with the color man's possession. That's why the judges overruled the color man. Every president elections, you think you make selections, but every 48 years it gets more depression. Sabotage all truth, you learn since adolescence. Until you're well-groomed adults, it ain't learn a lesson. Kept my head forward, I ain't never curved a blessing. Ever Alice and destined, the answer and the question. Really to speculation, I gave you a revelation. Even when hell is waiting, I'll still be elevated. I just pray all my children are safe and educated in the legislation. Without Jim Crow regulations, 6 degrees of separation. Living in separate nations, how you ask for reparations? Knowing their reputation, they the first to do the math. Finding the permutation, to make sure that they're fans, they're facing extermination. They hit us with the way we got so much determination. Like a roach in a dog trying to find his way out the basement. Like a foster kid with hopes, he get rescued from his placement. That's like an atheist getting a taste of God's graces. Can see his blessing, even the devil is celebrated. That's why I'm with the angels every day, elevated. 4 daughters, my ain't perfect. Future one from a dad, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm a marksman of my class, B is guaranteed to die. Like a target from my past, sons, you gotta let it go. It's like the object of the fast. Homie told me once, don't become a product of your stash. I made with nothing, it's still nothing, even with a lot of cash. Royalty and truth is yet all the brother acts. After years of healing up from all the stabbings in the back. Them people burn their bridges and they never swim a lot. So if they ever touch the water, they ain't never coming back. I'm Cullen Jones when it comes to swimming laps. So until I wave ashore, Michael Phelps, but I'm black. Scholars in your hood.
Stah Shabazz.
Yeah,
My nigga
5,000 degrees.
That's like an hour. Yeah, you good, man. It's Luke for an hour. I think only the RZA can do an hour. Let's get it fresh.
I'm that nigga on the block with that heat rock. Rehabilitation patients going through a detox. Pump your baby mama in a brand new pair of Reebok. Got that pussy creeping out her lips like a beatbox. I be on the grind all the time with my heat pop. Bunch of G niggas, you can catch us in a G spot. Have my man creeping on your house from a treetop. Drop him, then we ease out. We call that an eavesdrop. We not worried about them hoes. Fuck a woman front. All we know is Benjamin. A racket get you 10 of them. I be in the field with my bootlace Timberlands. Bend the corner, shooting up your hood like a Zimmerman. Fucking with them rats, you something like I'm using synonym. Whole clique bitches like them niggas that be feminine. I'm flying through the city screaming free my nigga Duke. Banging with that Smithing like I'm Griffin on a oop. Chicken heads flocking, couple pigeons in the coop. Before you get to singing, now I bring it to your stoop. Talking like a witness, have my killers on your roof. These fraud ass niggas catch a case and tell the truth. Free my nigga Boo, he be riding like a hubcat. They gave my man a dime before he even turned a dub yet. So when they chill, I be like fuck that. Call my 40 quads a year to leave a nigga hunchback. Ever since a youngin', I've been taking niggas lunch bag. You ain't got no lunch money, nigga, where your lunch at? I need that. I'm that nigga, you not. Bugging in the middle of the crowd like I'm Tupac. Thuggin', still ride around the city like I run it. You mad cause I always been that nigga that you wasn't. Rest in peace to Diddy, I'ma keep his name buzzing. We confront the same gang, that's my blood like a cousin. Still set trippin', still throwing up the set. Ask about me in the yard, you ain't never go to wreck. Fuck nigga, make me mask up, nigga. All that paper that you flash, get your ass stuck, nigga. What? Say something, do something, pussy either one. I'ma shove the barrel on your throat and make you eat the gun. Trigger my nigga, I'm bigger than big. Catch you slipping while you looking for a light to your sig. With that 44 long, pointed right at your wig. Your mom wish you would've got you a gig. Stupid motherfucker, man, you can't even spell it. How you gon' sell it? Scared to take that ride yourself, so you gon' mail it. Package in the set, they got them people asking questions, and them niggas that you owe about that think you gon' tell it. You thought that they ain't know about that. They contemplating snatching kids, and you hope about that. You try and get another front, but it don't go like that. And motherfucker, why you talking on the phone like that? He gotta go, yo. We take it to him for they even get the bussin' back. And we don't fuck with cats, most them niggas fucking rats. We give a fuck about your health, you better run a lap. The only exercise we get to beat them jumping jacks. My jack jumping not for nothing, but that trap pumping. That shit be coming in so fast that we don't stack nothing. Them niggas hating till we clap something. Then they take the stand, right hand to God like I saw something. I heard something, then I felt something. And plus he told me if I keep running my mouth that he gon' melt something. By melt something, they mean clap niggas. And now I really put my life in danger. They don't fuck with rat niggas. Yes, him, your honor, that nigga. You gotta throw away the key before he throw me a slug. I'm already wired for sound, just throw me a bug. I can see if I can get get my man to throw me the plug. Throw me a vest and throw me some cash. Might as well join the force, throw me a gun and throw me a badge. These rat niggas do whatever to stay free. I'd rather lay up in the cell, basic cable and HD. Told what to do by a guard that hates me. Busted up with old timers that been down since 83. Shit ain't that bad when you measure it up. Would've been home, but they still got you setting shit up. It's never enough, it's never too much. These bitch niggas got pics and I'm never the one. They used to tell me keep it on me cause it's better than none. Then turned around and told me two is always better than one. You better off calling your dad cause I'm better than son. And touching mine without a consequences never been done. I never been sweet, I never been you never been me. Whatever it takes, that fucking hammer put a nail in your face. Then what? Fricker.
Yeah, that was fucking fire. Hey.
I love you.
I coach Mook.
Yeah.
I coach Mook. The basketball.